What's going on, everyone? It's the Lower Midcard Podcast. I'm Kyle Driver.
And I'm Grind.
And it's been a crazy couple weeks. Especially, go ahead.
You know, I was just going to jump right into it.
Yeah.
You had texted me and you had this idea that immediately we would start this podcast off asking one question. What is kayfabe?
What is kayfabe? Like, what? It's because as of yesterday, because we're going to talk about yesterday. We have to talk about
yesterday. We got to talk about the last 2 weeks, man.
There's so much to talk about, though. And I think because yesterday, like, it's almost like it was its own premium live event.
100%.
Right?
Yeah.
And that's how it felt. And there was zero wrestling in that match. We'll get into it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. Okay.
But when Hunter said, "You ain't seen nothing yet," I didn't realize that we were going to see it moments after that.
I didn't realize that there's something that we haven't seen. Being a wrestling fan for literally close to 30 years, I did not think there was something that would blur the lines between kayfabe and reality. And where we are now is this weird gray area that has blended the two realities together. And I'm sitting here puzzled. And before we started this podcast, I told you, Kyle, I go, I am frustrated. I am frustrated, but in love at the same time. And it's almost like we are finding a new medium for pro wrestling. And this, and before you get started, this is what separates the WWE from everyone else. Nobody else can do what they are doing.
No.
It's meshing the Attitude Era with current day, and it's on a fucking rocket ship to God knows where.
Yeah.
I mean, it's leaving the stratosphere.
It's wild. So I'm just gonna come out and say it. So when he said that, he literally took a rocket launcher at that line that separates kayfabe from reality, and he nuked it. It's gone.
Yeah.
It's gone. Like, because you had CM Punk talking about Rock being on the board. They were bringing in everything that was happening outside in and just making it there. And it's just like, we haven't seen that. And now we're here. This is what happened. This is the stage that Hunter is set. And this is the beginning, and that's still fucking incredible.
It's the reawakening the guys from the Attitude Era, like I said, and it's in current day, taking everything that they've learned from the PG era and social media, and being able to take it to new heights with people that are the best in the business.
Yeah,
2 weeks ago, you have the Rumble. Then you, at some point within that, or prior to that, you have the TKO negotiations with Netflix.
Yep.
And The Rock signing on to the board, which brings in another Attitude Era face.
Yeah.
And I truly believe what we saw yesterday, there's no going back.
No, you can't. Like, kayfabe is gone.
It's gone.
WWE has drawn their line in the sand, and they're leaving kayfabe.
If you look at last year's storytelling from a distance, you look at Bianca Belair, Gunther, Roman Reigns, Austin Theory. I thought something was really suspicious about those championships and the way that they carried them. The longest reigning women's champion, the longest reigning United States champion, the longest reigning Intercontinental champion.
Yeah.
You have all these long reigns. And what's funny is since then we've learned that they are moving away from short-term storytelling to long-term storytelling in a way that really blurs things. Yeah. And it's the best situation for a casual. It's the best situation for somebody who's a more hardcore fan because every moment you are sucked in now to their show. Yeah. I've had to watch every second of Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, where before I could get the clips and I would be fine. But now I have to literally watch every little piece, because if I miss a piece, I miss a step. With social media, they can keep it going.
Yeah.
But what does this do for the casuals, like, moving forward? It blurs the line, but is it too much? Is it too much story for a casual?
I don't think so. because like a casual's not really going to care about the wrestling, right? Like, yeah, they'll pay attention to the matches and whatnot, but like it's a soap. It's a soap opera. But now we're in a reality TV show.
Yeah.
That's literally what they've turned it into. It's now a reality show.
And
where they're going to bring in outside elements that people didn't fucking know about, and it's going to be there.
They have been also really good about anytime you feel like you're like not understanding the plot, they bring it right back around and explain why they are doing what they're doing.
We love vignettes.
Oh my God, dude! To the point where I'm confused, Kyle. I'm completely confused.
And I agree with you. It's at that point where, like, normally, like with you and I and other people that have been watching wrestling for as long as we've been watching, like we've been able to be like, you know what? I can see where they're going with this. This is what I would want, but this is what's going to happen. Like we're able to kind of pseudo predict what's going to happen. Now, I don't even think that's going to, Dave Meltzer's going to be out of a fucking job, bro. Yeah. Like Dave Meltzer's done.
Did they hire like the writers from like the Avengers Endgame? Like,
I don't know what happened.
it's so top tier. I mean, TKO gets involved and this Mania. And they, it's interesting because they keep talking about Mania 1 and how revolutionary that was and how this is going to be that next level.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about, before we talk about the last 2 weeks and what's been going on there. If you are currently caught up, this segment's for you. Yesterday at the press conference, it starts out with Triple H saying what he said. This is going to change everything, and get ready because there's no going back basically. And so to start the press off, you have Bianca Belair come out. She kind of promotes her TV show with Montez Ford. Kind of talks about her road to WrestleMania, that kind of a thing, to kind of hook you into that TV show aspect. I don't know. I may watch it. But for the most part, I have little interest. And, she announces that she's in the Elimination Chamber, I believe.
Yeah.
Moving on from that, the commentators talk for a little bit. It was great to see Big E. I'm very happy to see him back.
So much.
Yes, in some, form. You had CM Punk, who was back immediately, which begs the question, will he be commentating at WrestleMania? I think so.
Honestly, he's good at it.
Yeah.
If it because I mean, we can talk about it, like his injury, right?
Oh yeah.
I mean, we'll talk more about the Rumble match, but like CM Punk had a run-ending injury, so he is going to be out of commission for 6 months. And I hate to say I told you so, but I told you so.
Mm-hmm.
I said he was fragile. I said it was going to end that way, and
here we are. Yeah,
and here we are. I hate being right. I really do, and it's going to be a trend through this whole show now. But I think that's a good role for him.
Yes,
to still be active and still be involved within the WWE, because he does have pull with the fans. People do love him, and I think that would be a great fit. Because they're kind of short on him right now.
Yes, and he's tied to the current situation with Cody and Seth.
Yeah.
So the fact that he's got pull in that regard, that before the injury, it was kind of looking like he was going to challenge one of them at Mania. He was going to have his Mania moment. So the fact that he was there was really important. After that, they had Rhea come out, I believe. Then Becky came out, which Becky kind of established that she's the man. One of God, I don't know what the exact line was, but
it was really good.
It was really good. And, you want
me to paraphrase it?
Yeah, go for it.
Everyone's a bottom when you're around the man, basically.
Yeah.
That's what she said to Bianca Belair. So I was just like, oh my God, dude, that was fucking perfect.
No, it wasn't to Bianca. It was to Rhea.
Rhea.
And the whole point was that she's mommy and she's always
mommy
on top.
Yeah. And then she's like, "Oh my God, dude, it was such a good line."
It was so good. It was so
We're chef's kiss.
Yeah, we're murdering it.
Oh yeah,
but
we're killing it.
Yeah, we're killing it. It was really good to see that as well, because it puts Rhea on a pedestal for Mania. Io Sky doesn't have that same feeling. That's a whole nother conversation that we can talk about. She was not there at the event, And then they kicked it off to the big boys. And,
Yeah.
you know, over the last 2 weeks, The Rock has gotten really involved. But to just focus on yesterday's event, yesterday was supposed to be, they were supposed to announce kind of the matches. It seemed like Cody's match was already decided.
Yeah.
And then they went back on that. And there's a whole reason for that. But, you know, they have this whole entire deal where basically it starts with Seth Rollins comes out. He says his piece. Roman cuts him off. Roman comes out. Roman big brothers him completely.
Yeah.
I mean, just makes Seth look like he's number 2 all the way.
Yeah.
And then from there, he goes, you know, this is, you know, Cody had his chance. This is my show, and I choose The Rock at Mania.
Yep.
And I'm thinking, oh my God, at this point, I've never seen the champion just choose someone. Like, I was like, is this what they're talking about? The Rock comes out, and here we fucking go, dude. Because a week ago, a little hindsight 2020, it's announced that Cody from his own mouth is not going to challenge Roman at Mania, and that he's been having some counsel from somebody who knows Roman really, really well. And sure enough, The Rock comes out, and they have a stare down in SmackDown. Since then, that's it, right? In the arena, on TV, it was so much pop for The Rock. On the internet, it was like every mama's basement, cave dwelling fucking wrestling fan came out of nowhere, dude.
Is this the moment?
Yeah.
Okay.
came out of nowhere. And I checked, you know, social media, and I get social media to be very biased. And I get that there's a thousand people who, you know, thousands of people who want Cody to finish his story. And I think, you know, at this point, we've all been drug along for so long now that we all understand it's going to happen. It needs to happen. Sometimes I feel like, you know, and you had said this in prior episodes with I believe it was the CM Punk LA Knight thing, where it's wrestling fans are so fucking particular and fickle, and people have been asking for The Rock for at least a year. It was on the table for last year's WrestleMania, and nobody would have said a fucking peep about it, dude. However, it didn't work out, so people are still talking about it. What's going to happen at Mania? Is it going to be, you know, Roman Rock, or is it going to be Cody? You know, what's the situation? Now, going back to Royal Rumble, I said The Rock. I go, it's happening. It has to happen. He's you know, he's involved now. He's got the rights to his name. Everything just seems right. I was like, he's going to show up at Rumble. Where does the WWE fuck it up? They let Cody win. Or did they fuck it up, right? They let Cody win. The Rock never shows up. The Rock never shows up at Mania. So you have this situation where now they're starting to tell this even longer new chapter, new book, second fucking book, whatever you want to call it, of the Cody Rhodes gonna finish the story, the tribal chief, the head of the table story. It's all coming to a head. And then now The Rock's involved. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I got my wish. I'm excited. You know, Cody can finish it in so many other ways. It can happen at SummerSlam. It can happen. Maybe he wins 3 Royal Rumbles. Who, you know, maybe he's the first, right? He's done everything. Yeah. He's done everything to cement his legacy other than win this fucking title. And so I'm thinking, after watching that episode on SmackDown, The Rock's involved now. The crowd popped for him. They were not booing and were saying, we want Cody. These fucking wrestling fans fair weather wrestling fans, in my opinion, 99% of them are, we want Cody. Hashtag we want fucking Cody. And there's this movement making The Rock, who is the biggest baby face for the fucking company in the last 20 years, who could show up at any Mania and not get booed, has done nothing wrong. He's done nothing wrong for the company. Always gets popped. And so, because Cody Rhodes has to finish this fucking story now, because wrestling fans are sick of the situation. I'm so sick of it. Cody deserves this. Dude, listen, I could be wrong, but when Seth went out to Raw, by the way, last week, and he was trying to convince Cody, you need to fight me. It's the blue collar, the working man's title. They've stated that since day one. When Night of Champions came around, that whole idea was in fucking place. It makes so much sense. Give him that belt, right? Put it on him, and you don't have these fans fucking booing The Rock. You know, after after time has settled in, I texted you and I was like, dude, I'm so fucking mad. And honestly, man, every thought that is going through my body in this moment about those wrestling fans, those fair weather fucking wrestling fans, I despise them in so many ways, because those are the same people that when Cody finishes the story, which he will finish the fucking story, when he finishes that story, they will like him for 6 months and they are going to turn on him, and he will become the next John Cena, and there's nothing left. There's nothing left. You can't write a better story than the story that Cody has written right now. If we're finishing the fucking story, you have no hope in what is going on next. What's after the story? There's nothing. Make me a case that is better than The Rock and Roman Reigns as the bad guys for your fucking story. There's nothing better, right? So then I'm like, okay, all right, The Rock's getting booed. We go back to this, The Rock's getting booed, hashtag we want Cody. And I'm thinking, like, these fucking people, man, like, they're gonna, they're gonna do it for a week. The wrestling world's gonna listen a little bit. And I start listening to my wrestling podcasts. I start listening to the professionals, like the people who have been doing this for 30 years. And they are disgusted and angry. And it's unfair. It's not right. How dare the WWE? How dare Dwayne abuse his power? What's so fucking crazy about this is it goes back to yesterday's press conference where Triple H had said, this is the future, man. Well, there's no going back. He blew up kayfabe in reality, and they've been doing it for months. And this is what I gather. They've been doing it for months. They are playing the people who write articles, the Dave Meltzers of the world, right? They are playing these people to a fucking T, and nobody has noticed until yesterday.
Right.
And so we get to yesterday. There's going to be this announcement. We're going to finally get some clear answers on what's going on. We get to a point in the segment where you got The Rock, Seth Rollins, with Seth didn't need to be out there at that point. I don't even know. He didn't. But I think there's a reason he was out there, and we'll get to that later. Sure. The thing is, by the time you get to by the time you get to The Rock can't speak, because the movement has now made national headlines. It's made not just that, but the WWE in how smart they are. I don't think this was a fuck up, Kyle. No. I think this was them literally plotting. What does The Rock want to do? He wants to make business, money-making moves. And when he was on his flight before the press conference, in a behind-the-scene interview, he's leaving. He's getting into a car, and he goes signing off as your long game champion. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? And then I was like, oh my God, I get it. It's not about just WrestleMania 40. He's talked about this with Pat McAfee on Pat McAfee's show, or no, I think it was on ESPN, about the idea of, like, if he was to do a match with Roman, he would want it to be, the biggest thing ever, and how he would want it to get, plenty of push and whatnot, right? We're not just seeing a 2-month buildup here. What we are seeing is a long this is a brand new book in the Rock's fucking repertoire.
By George R.R. Martin.
Yeah, dude. It's crazy. And so by the time you get The Rock out there, they're showing the fucking family tree. And I'm going, oh my God. But the thing that's weird is The Rock and Roman, it wasn't what I think everyone always expected. I expected The Rock to go in there and be like, shut your bitch ass up. I'm the fucking tribal chief. I'm the leader. And that was the conflict. Yeah. There was no conflict. No. It was, let's do the biggest box office. Let's make it the biggest deal. Our family is bound by blood. And they fucking go in and they give each other a bro handshake kind of a thing. And then here comes Cody. Yep. Here comes fucking Cody and the Cody crybabies, dude. And he comes walking out. He goes, this is bullshit. And, he's like, I've decided that I've made my fucking mind up and I choose Roman. And so it goes from, okay, we're kind of getting somewhere. I'm kind of seeing what The Rock's role is in all of this, to now Cody is, this is bullshit. And he chooses Roman. And Roman's like, dude, you're fucking irrelevant. I gave you time, and he puts down his father. And then what does Cody do? He starts putting down Roman, starts putting down the bloodline, and puts down his father.
True Roman fashion and true Rock fashion. Oh, you didn't
Yeah.
put my
Oh,
family.
yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
How
you didn't
dare
do it
you.
first.
Yeah.
You didn't do it first. You just didn't. You just called Dusty Rhodes irrelevant.
But by this time, it is very, like, as a long-term wrestling fan, somebody who has watched The Rock be corporate Rock, Hollywood Rock, and The Rock, by this time you're recognizing the version that you're seeing is none of those. This is a new version who a lot of people were comparing to Hollywood Rock. I kind of compared it to more corporate Rock.
Yeah.
Because he feels like he's got power. And he didn't care. He didn't care what you thought of it. He's like, this is what's happening. This is what you're gonna like it.
I have a thought on it. Okay, so I think that they went into this because at this point, we didn't really know what the reaction of the crowd was going to be after this movement had started.
Because we had only heard it online. Around. Yeah.
Right, exactly. Which I 100%, like you said, like this was planned. The We Want Cody thing was planned. That's why you had people like Logan Paul and you had all the other wrestlers starting to use that hashtag and all that stuff. That's exactly why they did it. So, but I think they went into this thing with two different ways. They went if Rock got booed and if Rock got cheered.
Yep.
He got booed, which I think at first he was completely thrown off. Like he looked lost.
I think
moments.
Even with knowing that it could be a possibility and knowing that there could be backlash, I think he was still stunned.
Yeah.
Because everything he has done to be like the good guy.
Yeah, the people's champ.
Yeah, I think it shook him up for a minute.
Oh yeah, it did, and you could see it on his face. And he's like, and he tried a couple times to try to flip the crowd in his favor, and it fell flat each time. Like even when he did for the millions, and it was like two divorced dads in the back that were like, and millions, like that's like it just didn't go.
No,
and so I was like, all right, well they're gonna go plan B here, and that's what we got.
And I don't believe that part was scripted. However, I do believe that the long-term idea is that with the amount that they pushed the irrelevance of The Rock on Raw, and they were stating how it was the #1 tweeted thing and how it was the most viewed video, and it wasn't in favor of The Rock. They knew that. And so even though that they went in two different ways, it was inevitable that Cody was going to face Roman. The plan for Mania, in my opinion, after Cody comes out there, says what he says, The Rock and Roman get in Cody's face, and then The Rock smacks Cody.
Yeah.
That was the line blurred between kayfabe and reality, right? That was not meant to happen, 100%. And if it was more just it wasn't as rehearsed. He didn't know it was coming at that point, because that slap.
Sure?
Yeah, if you go and watch the actual slap, if you there's a picture of it. It is a full blown, unexpected slap. It doesn't. I mean, if he knew about it, this is where
that's what I'm saying.
It's fucking.
This is what they've done.
Yeah.
And then now you think like, okay, and then the way that Seth Rollins was talking to Triple H, and the way The Rock was talking to Triple H, the way they were talking to each other, you're like, are they actually pissed?
Yeah.
Like it made you go, oh my god! Like,
right?
Is this like a UFC like?
What's happening here? Yeah.
Like, because those people fight all the time.
Exactly.
Like, is this, they're like, hey, I want you guys to sit in a room and pour out all your grievances before you go out there because you guys are going to be pissed off at each other or whatever. I don't know.
I think I think that the slap was definitely intentional. It was not rehearsed, and I don't even think it was a brought up thing. I think it was something that The Rock reacted with that knew it would get over. However, if it was rehearsed, bravo to the WWE, because they're
and Cody Rhodes, dude, fucking give that man an Oscar for just, I mean,
taking it.
He took it better than a slap from Will Smith to Chris Rock.
Oh, totally.
You know
yeah,
like
exactly.
He oh man, dude, that's exactly what we wanted to see, a fucking brawl. And thank you, I needed that.
Right, and the WWE and The Rock and Triple H, those two minds together. If it was thought up, it's so real. It felt so real that maybe The Rock felt like he needed to take it up a notch so it would feel real.
Yeah.
And that's how it ends. And so I walk away from it thinking I was going to get answers, to getting a poster for fucking Roman and Cody again. And I'm not mad at that match. I'm not mad if Cody wins. I'm really not. I'm more disappointed that the way the WWE universe acted to potentially get that, because it's not the entire WWE universe. A portion of people don't see the light any other ways. It's like this way or no way. And it's been this way for other topics as well.
Sure.
But the thing that's most disgusting about it is I truly wonder, when you put somebody to the stratosphere like they're doing with Cody, after he finishes the story, what's next? And it could be like, well, I guess we'll see. But the thing is it's a John Cena thing where this man has a fucking rocket attached to him. A rocket. I've heard things from people like Dave Meltzer, I believe, that stated their entire idea is to push Cody to the level of a Daniel Bryan Yes Movement at Mania kind of moment. That is the idea going into WrestleMania. And if it could create one of the greatest cinematic B-roll shots of all time, and one of the greatest stories of all time. Short story, it only lasted 2 years. Now, what's interesting about this is The Rock being tied to Roman increases the popularity of Cody. Inevitably, it's more eyeballs on Cody. To touch on taking a step back, going back to 2 weeks ago, we had the Royal Rumble, and I feel like that it needs an honorable mention before we get out of here.
Yeah.
Hold on. I wanted to let you know that taking a step back was everything I had to do, because you were right. You were right, Kyle.
It sucks being this good.
It does. And I don't feel for you in this regard. However, I will tell you, Bayley winning this thing, Bayley, the opening match was the women's Royal Rumble match, which I think was better than the men's, in my opinion.
Yes, 100%.
You have, Bayley, I believe she was number 3, right? Who was number 1? Naomi was number 2. Who gives a fuck? Nobody cares. Naomi was number 2, which was the big pop, which was like, we had an idea that she would be coming back.
Natalia.
Yeah, nobody cares. Naomi was number 2, basically number 1. And sure enough, she hits the big pop. Everybody's excited. I'm happy for her. You're happy for her.
Sure.
Until she cries, and then you're like, God damn it. She
fucking cries every goddamn time.
But she got the cool shoes, she got the cool hair, the cool.
It says Naomi in her fucking hair. She's got it dyed in there.
Yeah, because that's the in thing to do.
Hell
and, we're all pumped, and then here comes Bayley at number 3. And Bayley ends up winning this thing, eliminating Liv Morgan, which I believe it was Jade Cargill, Liv Morgan, Bayley, the final 3. And I'm going, holy shit, dude. Jade, and all I want to say is this, like, there's honorable mentions for the women's honorable mentions, special appearances: Jade Cargill, Jordan Grace, Naomi, Tiffany Stratton, and Roxanne Perez. All of them performed great. We can talk about each one of them. I'll tell you this though: when Bayley wins this thing, before she wins it, when it's down to the final 3, I'm going, there's no fucking way Bayley wins this. There's no way. I'm thinking there's no fucking way. Yeah, Liv Morgan, who's just coming back, who is a babyface galore.
Yeah.
There's no way Bayley wins this. Bayley wins it, and it hurt, and I could not stop laughing. I was laughing and saying no. I'm sitting in the living room, and my girlfriend's looking at me like, what sadistic fucking laugh is this that you are having? I could not react any other way than laugh and say no at the same time for a solid minute. And I just kept saying no. I just kept saying no, dude. It was so everything I did not want. It was so bad And then you know what? I will mention this over the last few weeks. I'm happy with it. I'm happy with it because the whole damage control storyline is finally it's imploding.
Yes, we've been speaking it into existence.
Yes,
we're watching it.
Exactly. Now, do I like Bailey? No. Do I want Bailey to win? Yes. Do I hate fucking damage control? Yes. Have I always hated damage control since this podcast started? Yes. So literally, you know what? I will take Bailey in that all fucking day. I hope she wins. That's a topic for another story, another podcast. But anyway, I just had to mention how taking a step back, I sat there and laughed in the most weird way, saying no to a TV screen for a minute, dude. And my girl looked at me like I was fucking crazy. So, I thought the women's match was amazing. The fact it got laughter and no out of me, like, no, this isn't happening. No, like, is fucking awesome in the regard, because I never saw it coming, dude. You said it. You fucking said it. I think she was actually favored to win it in the odds. I bet on Jade Cargill, by the way. She was like, I want to say plus like 1,000 to win.
Oh my God, dude. I'm so glad that they had her. She took out Nia Jax.
Yes, dude. And
showing that strength is incredible.
And she had the stare down with Bianca Belair for 2 seconds that didn't last.
Yeah.
But I was really worried about Bianca until I saw them both in the ring, and I'm like, oh, they can coexist. I thought Bianca I thought when I saw Jade for the first time in AEW, I thought she was kind of like a ripoff. I felt like it was a very, what was his name? The Hulk Hogan's cousin that tried to be like Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Horace.
Okay, dude. That's what I thought. But then when I saw how Jade moved and whatnot, I was like, oh, Bianca's in trouble. I was like that, but they looked like they could almost be a tag team. It's kind of cool.
They made Jade look so strong, and I loved it because she deserves it. Because guess what? She could easily outlift me.
Yeah.
And I can put up weight. I can move weight, but she put me to shame. She's fucking strong and tall as fuck.
Yeah.
She's a tall lady.
Dude, there's so much to talk about in that regard. And we're only, we are really close to, having to shoot the next podcast, because the next podcast is Elimination Chamber, and I believe she's in the tournament to be in that, which I don't think she's had her match yet, but I know that Bianca is in it. I know Becky I believe Becky's got a match to. Yeah. I know that right now they're doing the tournament matches to see who gets into the elimination. Becky's in.
Becky's in.
Is it Bianca that has the tournament match?
Bianca,
or did she have it tonight?
Confirmed. I'm pretty sure she's confirmed.
Okay, gotcha. Well, anyway,
we'll talk about it.
Next podcast.
Next podcast we'll talk about Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But so dude, we could do this all night.
All night. Yeah.
So let's A+ for the women's Rumble. It was incredible.
Jordan Grace. Shout out to Jordan Grace. That was fucking phenomenal.
An absolute monster.
And kudos to the WWE. Once again, this is why I'm so pro WWE, especially since they moved to TKO. Kudos and shout out to fucking WWE for allowing the TNA champion to be there. To allowing another brand. This is how you know the WWE is not looking at these other brands as competition anymore. They brought in the TNA champion, allowing her to wear her belt. And it was fucking cool, man. It was great.
Dead.
Yeah.
There's no game. It's not there.
It's gone, dude.
It's gone.
It's fucking gone.
It's dead, Jim. Awesome. We're gonna move away from the women's Rumble.
A+
match. So then we're into the two matches before the men's Rumble.
But here's what's weird about all that. And I said this, that the Roman Championship match would not be the final match. They made it the second match of the night. And I was texting you. I was texting you going, hey, did I miss a match? Like,
no.
Is this the second match?
Why is this? We're like, I was just as baffled. Like, why is this match before the Logan Owens match?
There had to be,
There had to been like a timing thing, a scheduling thing, or whatever.
Yep.
But so we're in the match. It's Roman Reigns against AJ Styles, against LA Knight, against Randy Orton.
And guess who wins?
Four-way.
Guess who
And,
wins?
if you guessed Roman Reigns, you are correct.
Right? Crazy. It was
Yeah.
the match was 19 minutes and 30 seconds.
Yeah.
And it was every way that Roman normally wins. Nothing new.
Yeah.
And honestly, nothing. I didn't see anything that I was like, oh my God, we got to talk about this.
No, it was, I mean, listen, like the only thing is that like people were talking about who's going to take the fall. Who's going to take the fall? AJ Styles took the fall, which I think is a good move, because you save LA Knight's momentum, you save Randy Orton. Like AJ Styles came back from an injury and he needs to work his way back up. That's AJ's role right now.
Yeah, listen, if there's a ladder in the WWE, he's falling down that ladder.
Yeah.
And
Which is, I think it's by design.
Yeah.
So what, like, I think that the outcome, that was the best outcome you could have. I mean, obviously it wasn't a clean finish. There was outside involvement.
Can I ask one question here?
Yeah.
What the fuck is going on with him and the OC? Because they don't touch on it. And it's like, oh, AJ's on this road to be I got to go do my own thing. But then it's like, there's no week in, week out. There's not enough segment time for him to be having a conversation on SmackDown. There's nothing going on. And you see the OC, you see the tag team, you see them. They fucking come out with that chick who wrestles almost every week.
Yeah. Michin,
blue haired.
She's good. I like her.
Yeah. But without AJ, they lose all credibility.
And that's I think it's just kind of either one, they're doing long form storytelling, or it's just getting lost in the sauce with everything else that's been going on, because obviously a lot's unfolded since the Royal Rumble. So I mean, they may dabble on it.
Well, did you see him tonight? Did you see AJ tonight against Drew McIntyre?
Yeah.
Squashed.
Yeah.
So
I mean, it may be one of those things where it's kind of like a story that Drew McIntyre is going through, right? Drew McIntyre has his little story going on.
Okay, but hold on. Devil's advocate. Drew is constantly in the spotlight, constantly cutting promos, and then he's on social media. I don't know if you follow him on TikTok. He pops up in my feed. I don't know how, because I'm not following him, but he pops up in my TikTok feed, and he's fucking cutting promo after promo after promo on CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Cody Rhodes. And he's doing it, and
Cody
and AJ is another. If it is by design, it's burying him, and it's burying the OC, and there's no, like, they're not together. This is long form storytelling, this is, in my opinion, this is the OC and AJ not being able to keep up with that quality storytelling, because it's not clear, dude. It's not clear on why he's got to be off doing his own thing when Michin, blue-haired chick, comes out, and there's the OC, just they walk out with her, and then they let her do her thing.
I don't know what they're gonna do, and to be honest,
don't care.
I don't really care. Like, I think
I was trying to care about AJ, dude. I
just like AJ, like I love the guy. I think he's incredible. He's still, like, he's up there. He's been doing this for a long time, but just AEW. I don't think so. But I mean, Carl Anderson and fucking Festus are, like, they're fine. I don't mind. But it's just like Carl Anderson's shit with my hot Asian wife. That's the best that they could do with him.
Yeah.
So, like, it's fine. Like, they're fodder, or they're planning something, or a redesign of what that dynamic is. I'll just let it unfold.
I don't know why we're giving it this much fucking time. Let's move on.
Let's move on. Yeah, Roman wins. Shocker. So we're moving on to the third match of the night. Logan Paul versus Kevin Owens.
Logan Paul is one of the greatest fucking things that has happened to wrestling. That dude has made the US title relevant. He's made it every match that he's in interesting. And in my eyes, Kevin Owens can keep up. Kevin Owens can work. He's a workhorse. But Logan makes splashes, bigger moves, more acrobatic, and really kind of carried KO in that performance.
I do think it was an incredible match. Logan won via disqualification. So I think it's a good way to end that.
Yes.
Because it doesn't hurt Kevin Owens. And it it only helps and solidifies him as a heel. So fuck it, cool. I love it.
Kevin's got to focus on the Elimination Chamber. So
yeah,
that should be fun. And then you had the men's Royal Rumble match, which inevitably we talked about all night. Cody wins. He eliminates CM Punk. CM Punk gets hurt in the final 3. It's Drew McIntyre, CM Punk, Cody Rhodes in the final 3. He had torn pec, right? Is that what it was?
No, tricep.
Torn tricep. And so, the sad part coming out of Royal Rumble is that CM Punk is hurt for a guy that, most of us hated 45. On at some point. He's 45 years old. I hated on him in AEW. You've hated on him since his return to WWE.
Yeah, I hated on him in AEW too.
I remember hold on. I remember somebody when he came back, you were wearing the shirt. It's all
I did. Okay. And then I didn't like him. My opinion changed because he was a shit.
Yeah,
like true. The shit that happened at the end of his tenure at AEW, just him being a fucking
Phil
diva.
Brooks sucks, dude.
Phil Brooks fucked Phil Brooks.
That guy sucks.
In that aspect, because he couldn't keep his ego in check, so he got fucking fired. And I was just like, okay,
is it possible?
Cool.
Is it possible that he just likes taking 6-month vacations and working like
maybe he's like, I need a break. Go fuck yourself, Tony, or whatever.
Yeah, exactly, dude.
So, but I after that I was like, damn it, bro. Like I can't get behind you anymore. And then that was
no.
But and then yes, I hated the move because of what happened. It kind of followed him along with that, and then I was able to let the shroud, the fog clear, and I could be objective about it.
What's so funny though is that this is the same situation I am going through right now with The Rock, where literally you had that situation where CM Punk returned and you were so fucking heated. You're like, fuck the casual wrestling fan. And it's not the casual wrestling fan. It's the, what do you call them? The ICW or the
IWC.
IWC, dude. Yeah. It's those guys, and it's ugly because you have every right to say what you're saying, and the entire internet, we all knew CM Punk was going to get the pop, but I would have expected the entire internet to do the "we don't want CM Punk" thing. Instead, they're like, "Oh my god, this is the most
cool."
Yeah, dude.
Fickle.
It's fucking annoying, man.
Yeah, so, just we need that gif of Daniel Bryan going fickle.
Yeah. So CM Punk gets hurt. Cody Rhodes wins. Drew McIntyre is in the mix. That story is a long story as well, man. Every story has the Drew McIntyre story is something they've been working on for 6 months now. Yeah. So, those final 3, they all have their own story. Cody Rhodes got to finish his story. CM Punk has got a main event at WrestleMania. That is all taken away from him. Yep. And, he's now hurt. He's got surgery. He pops up in the event that we talked about at the beginning of the podcast. Yep. But the 30-man Royal Rumble was something I thought of. It was quite special because for the special appearances, it was very limited, very limited. And I'd almost say that there was not really a special appearance. No. Andrade returns, which we all knew. We knew that was coming. Charlotte Flair, his wife, is a part of the WWE. I don't believe Triple H ever wanted Andrade to leave. I think that was a Vince decision. We don't talk about that name anymore. So Andrade is back, comes out in the coolest fucking ring gear.
Yep.
With the coolest.
I'm glad that he kept that.
Yes, from AEW.
That he had over at AEW with the black skull mask. I thought it was fucking sick. I was like, oh, thank God, dude.
Amazing. Then follow that with almost.
God, I was okay. Yeah, okay.
Have not seen him since fucking WrestleMania against the guy we don't mention anymore, Brock Lesnar. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Wasted slot.
100%. They don't know what to do with him. There's nothing to do with him. They've lost all hope in him in general. I think they're just waiting his contract out.
Yeah.
And they're like, fine, here, throw him in the fucking Rumble. He's a giant, and we'll see what he can do. Maybe we can do something with him. There's nothing to do with that character at all. He'd be lucky to have Bobby Lashley in that faction that they don't have any longer. Follow that, you got Pat McAfee,
Wasted
slot completely. Pat McAfee at WrestleMania 38 was fucking special.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee against Vince McMahon, the man we don't mention anymore, his prodigy Austin Theory. That match was so fucking good, brought the final appearance ever of Vince McMahon getting stunnered by Stone Cold. It was such a special thing.
Yeah.
Pat McAfee is then returned to the Rumble last year, which he actually was there for a minute, I believe. And this one, he literally he hopped in the ring, went across the ring, hopped out of the ring.
Yeah.
Stupid.
But then to Braun Breaker.
The guy, aka
the guy that was supposed to be there, Brock Lesnar.
Brock Lesnar, who has sexual allegations out towards him, which is crazy. That's a whole nother story. I don't know if we'll ever touch on that, but it's sickening. As a Brock Lesnar fan, I didn't think I would get into this, but I think it needs to be touched on a little bit before we get to Braun Breaker. The Brock Lesnar thing, man, to sum it up in a nutshell, he's Vince's best friend.
Yeah.
And
they just that whole situation. And like we've known that there's shitty things that Vince has done over the years.
You could see it on TV.
Him running
you could see it on TV. Yeah.
Like literally the person that you see on the screen is a watered down version of who he is in real life.
1000%.
Crazy.
It's disgusting. It's disgusting.
It is.
And I believe you were the one who initially sent me the text messages.
I did.
I think, yeah. And you sent me the screenshots. You were the bear. You know what? Ever since me and you have started this podcast, I love you. I just want to mention that. I love you. But you have fucking sent me some of the most just saddening text messages.
I'm sorry, brother.
Dude,
but it's news. We got to talk about it. It's wrestling.
You sent me the death of Bray Wyatt.
I know. I'm sorry. I'm the harbinger
You're killing
of
my fucking heroes, bro.
Sorry. I'm not doing it. I'm just the messenger.
Dude, like what the fuck, man?
I mean, there's so many.
No, and I love you for it.
Now there's more people coming out of it. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah. And
but
just,
my God.
I know. Dude, I'm sorry.
Literally,
I'm sorry.
I was at a McDonald's.
I go, God damn. Vince McMahon's a certified freak. Like,
freak is an understatement. The dude is disgusting.
He's an absolute disgusting human being.
Yeah. I would not be shocked if his name was on Epstein Island. I would on Epstein's black.
I mean, you never know.
Black book.
But all I'm saying is that this, like, Vince screwed Vince. Vince is buried. There is no recovery.
No, he will be lucky if he gets a statue or or if he's recognized in the history of WWE. And it may be just his name. His name may be just recognized and then moved on from, because as the crazy success story he was, this ruins and wrecks all of it. And in my opinion, this shows how Vince got to where he got to. Like, this show, everything he's ever done was a power play. And for those who don't know what we're talking about, I'm not gonna talk about it more than we already have. I'm gonna say go online and type in Vince McMahon and you can look at the latest news.
You're gonna get it.
But to get back on track, Brock Lesnar was mentioned in these allegations. His name was blacklisted actually in the reports. However, it was mentioned a previous UFC WWE champion.
Right.
There's only one of those. There's only one. And so unfortunately, Brock was supposed to actually play a part, I guess, at Mania. He was also supposed to play a part in the Royal Rumble. And this comes out like 3 days beforehand.
It came out like it was like 2-3 days before. And like a lot of people were like, this can't be real. Like, this has to be fake. And then like just as time kept going, just more and more and more, it's like, holy fucking shit, this is real.
I
sent that stuff to you, and I was like, this has got to be like fake, right? Like, because like text messages, those can be faked. And so like, I'm like, but then like, it went from 0 to 60. And then it went like straight to 1,000 miles per hour. And like Vince got yeeted out of the building.
100%.
And then Brock was a part of that. And they just
I heard Friday night he canceled his flight. That was the entire thing.
So Anyway, like let's so if you want to know more, go look at it.
The whole point was that Brock, my guy, was supposed to fucking be in the Royal Rumble. Unfortunately, he wasn't. I was kind of sad. Not too sad after reading what I read.
Right.
However, he gets replaced with an NXT star. Now, not just any NXT star, somebody who is his fucking broke barriers in NXT and is amazing at what he's doing. Braun Breaker, aka Papa Pump Jr. In my opinion, dude, there's no way he's Rick Steiner's son.
I close my eyes and I listen to him talk. It's Scott.
It's Scott
every time.
It's Scott. Big Papa Pump number 2. I think something happened behind closed doors. I think Scott got a hold.
Like, well, you ever seen the movie The Switch?
I believe so.
Yeah, like basically, it's there was a swap.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, so I get it 100%.
Yeah, and I've thought that
I'm pretty
since
sure that's happened.
He talks like him. He looks like him.
Yeah,
he looks like that 80s version of Scott, dude. And so I just can't.
But he's great. He did a great job.
It's amazing. He is the future of the WWE. Now, on top of that, people will say the other honorable mention, special appearance was Carmelo Hayes. Yeah. People love this guy. I'm not a big fan. He can work. Yeah. He's kind of smaller. He's like I don't see him being. And maybe this is what they're going for, because segue fucking when we see this press conference with Cody Rhodes and The Rock, Cody Rhodes looks like a little bitch. I'm gonna be 1,000% honest. The Rock looks fucking huge. The Rock looked huge to Roman. What is happening? People are getting smaller and smaller, dude.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, it's just not everyone's a big, because you have Trick Williams, who Carmelo Hayes was in cahoots with. Yeah. But I think Carmelo Hayes is like a Daniel Bryan or a Seth Rollins. A smaller guy.
He's smaller than that though, isn't he? He's more like Daniel Bryan.
He's okay. Let's hold on. We're gonna figure this out. All right. So Carmelo Hayes, let me pull him up. Carmelo Hayes is 5'10". Okay. Let's see how tall Seth Rollins is 6'1". So there's not a huge difference there.
No.
So it's, he may be a smaller guy, but he's good on the mic. He can act. So I think he's going to be a pretty prominent role once he makes his way out of NXT. I mean, he's hopped to both brands several times ever since dropping his title. But he's got a nice little storyline going on in NXT.
He does.
I'm looking forward to that. So,
but those were the honorable mentions, and it was a good men's Royal Rumble. Braun Breaker had probably
there was one more honorable mention, because we had the return of Sami Zayn.
Yeah, which as a number 30, I feel
it was a wasted spot.
I saw some reactions on TikTok, and it was like the one that you had done for Survivor Series, SummerSlam, where you were there with the LA Knight, and it was facing. Except the difference was the reaction was 3, 2, 1, and then their face just kind of froze, and then it was like, what the
what? Yeah,
yeah, like, dude, are we kidding?
It was a wasted spot, to be honest. Like, you had Omos was wasted spot, Pat McAfee wasted spot, and then I would say Sami Zayn was a wasted spot. You had 3 potentials that you could have done there, and I think that's it just missed something in that match that would have made it better than
Triple H had.
Women's match.
Triple H had come out in the press conference afterwards and said it's hard to, we don't need these part-time guys. It's hard to fit all these people in, and so, unfortunately some people aren't.
Could have done better with Omos. Come on, man. No one likes him. No one cares.
I think that they think there's a selling point maybe there. I don't know what that selling point is. The fact he's a giant doesn't make him interesting.
No, exactly. It's like we've seen that before. Like, I'm over it.
Well,
like he doesn't add anything. He can't even work the mic. He's just a big guy.
He's just a big guy. Yeah. There's no element that is interesting of him. And I think that wrestling is just moving in a completely different direction than ever before. The Royal Rumble was good. It was, I think, it was one of the big 4. I think we were just spoiled, and I think that WrestleMania has a lot of. I just don't know how you could go wrong. I'll tell you this, WrestleMania 39, the 2 nights in a row, maybe my top 3, if not top 1 favorite WrestleMania
Sure.
of all time. The tag team match, night 1, Roman Cody 1 was just so good. I don't know how you top that. I don't. And you know what? The fact that we are in February and we are less than 2 months away. We are officially on the road to WrestleMania. It's exciting. I don't know what's going to happen, even though they've told me kind of what's going to happen with Cody and Roman.
Yeah.
We still don't have answers. We still don't have a lot of answers. And so we've been sitting here, doing our thing, and nothing has gotten solved.
Nope.
Son of a bitch.
But it just makes me go, well, fuck. I'm going to have to watch Monday.
Yeah.
I'm gonna watch. I have to
listen to this, dude.
What the fuck's going on?
I gotta watch Monday. I gotta watch Thursday. Oh, and then next Saturday they're coming to town, so I'll be at the road to WrestleMania in Oakland, California next Saturday, which should be kind of fun. And
is it just a house show?
It's a house show, but it's called the Road to WrestleMania. Okay. So I'll be there. We'll be doing that. In the meantime, you're going on vacation.
Yes, I will be quite unavailable for the next week.
Yeah, enjoy that, man. That sounds.
It's gonna be great. I'm gonna be on a ship in the Caribbean.
Is there a pool on the ship?
Oh, there's so many pools.
Oh, that's awesome.
There's like 10 pools on that thing.
I've never gone on a cruise before.
You know what? If you ever have a chance, like, and you're kind of like, I'm not like a hot weather person.
Yeah.
Do an Alaskan cruise.
Okay.
Do an Alaskan cruise.
Sounds amazing.
The views are amazing. Like Alaska's really cool. Like the places that you go, like Juneau, Skagway, places like that. And then you stop in, like we stopped in Victoria, in British Columbia.
Oh wow.
And so Canada's fucking cool. I love Canada.
Yeah. That sounds like fun.
Yeah, and then like the views, dude. Like you can it's like one of those things where you can take a picture, but like you can show the picture to people, and they're like, "Wow," but it still doesn't do it justice.
Yeah.
Like we're going through like these islands that are on the southern part of Alaska, and you just have mountain on both sides, and they're guiding you.
That's fucking
like
awesome.
you're in like a 16-story ship.
Jealous.
And these mountains are fucking massive.
Well,
it was crazy.
Listen, enjoy your cruise. And while you're enjoying your cruise and I'm at Mania, by the time we get here next, it will be time for the Elimination Chamber.
Yeah.
But before we get there, I have one thing to talk about for 2 seconds. Well, one thing to say. Go 49ers. Man. Super Bowl, baby. Super Bowl.
Man, I thought you were gonna fucking let it go, but here we are. And you know what?
Listen,
I'm not gonna lie. Like I get it. You're a Niners fan.
Great game, by the way. Great game. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry I had to have listen.
Like
it happened.
The second half implosion.
Oh
like
my
honestly,
God.
like it was just an inexperienced thing. It's like the Lions are such a young team. Like they
ran on us so hard. I think it was 146 yards in the first half.
Yeah. So I mean, like if you look at the Lions, like you had Sam Laporta, Jahmyr Gibbs. You have
could not stop that guy. Could not stop Gibbs.
Like we have so many rookies on the defensive side. Like and then on the offensive side, we got Penny Sewell. We have all of these like. We're a young team. Our average age is 25. And so I think that just with what happened, it was just an inexperienced thing. Quicksand. Just like in the what's that movie with Keanu Reeves? The Replacements. So yeah, just like what he said, it's quicksand. Like they made mistake. They had that fluky catch where it bounced off the dude's fucking dome. So it was just like one fluke thing after one fluke thing, and it just like they just couldn't recover.
Do you think that it's like I looked at it as a possibility of one, they didn't believe in their kicker because nobody fucking believes in their kicker.
No,
because they wanted to go for 2, and then the other big thing I noticed was that it seemed like they came out going like 150%, like just a little harder than they probably should, and then the Niners kind of just coasted. And then eventually cardio kind of got to him in the second half. That's what it kind of looked like. Yeah,
and it just like, I mean, it was still like even like the third half they were non-existent. They came back in the fourth.
Yeah.
And it was still
scary.
A close one.
It was a good game.
And at the end of the day, like people like in Detroit, and we're good now. Like people have moved on.
Yeah.
But I gotta say this. Vikings fans, fucking get over it, bro.
Yeah.
Stop talking about it. It's sad. Rams fans, get over it. You guys are sad. Like, it's gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's just all they talk about is the Lions are dirty, blah blah blah. But anyway, I'm not gonna go.
No,
anyway.
this is not a football podcast.
No,
it's just
not.
something that we needed to touch on. I needed to touch on because I'm going to. We're going to the Super Bowl, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Boring ass Super Bowl.
Listen,
generic Team A and generic Team B.
Hey.
The only exciting thing about that thing is Taylor Swift.
I was just gonna say the same thing. Dude.
Sorry, that's the most exciting thing about that.
Well,
and you know what? They're gonna have the highest views of any Super Bowl ever because of the Swifties.
Well, and you know what? Here's the thing. I'm glad you feel that way because you will be on a cruise ship. You don't have to worry about it. If you,
I don't even have to watch it.
Yeah, exactly. I will be indulging in all the festivities. I'm very excited, and I'm hoping for a parade this week. That's what I'm hoping to go do in San Francisco.
Well, you know, I hope whatever happens, you're you know, somewhat miserable like me. Go Chiefs.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Well, misery likes company, right?
Whew, okay. Well, with that being said, that wraps up the Lower Mid Card podcast. See you guys next time.